So hello everyone. Now together with Merging Impas and Sarmalus Ursko, we will give some examples about Lagrange theorem. So Lagrange theorem, if G is a finite group and H is a subgroup of G, then the order of H divides the order of G. Moreover, the number of distinct left or right cosets of H in G is the order of G divided by the order of H. And you may see this written as this one vertical bar G colon H vertical bar is equal to vertical bar G vertical bar over vertical bar H vertical bar denoting the index. And we have an example. So example 1, we have the group G equals Z sub 12 and this is under addition and the element of Z sub 12 are 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. The possible orders of subgroups are divisors of 12. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12. So now consider the element 4 in Z sub 12. So 4 raised to 1 mod 12 is equal to 4. 4 raised to 2 mod 12 is equal to 8. 4 raised to 3 mod 12 is equal to 0. So now consider the subgroup H is equal to 0, 4, and 8. By applying Lagrange theorem, the order of G is equal to 12 and the order of H is equal to 3. Now G divided by H or 12 divided by 3 is equal to 4. Since 3 divides 12, this fits Lagrange theorem.
Good day, everyone. I am Sarah Leanne Orozco, and today I will discuss to you the example number 2. In this example, we are looking at a group of units modulo 30 written as U30. This group includes all numbers less than 30 that don't share any common factors with 30 except for 1. Specifically, the elements are 1, 7, 11, 13, 17, 19, 23, and 29. So there are 8 elements in total. Now, within this group, consider a smaller set called a subgroup, which here is 1 and 7. This subgroup has 2 elements. In Lagrange theorem, it tells us an important fact that the size of any subgroup must divide evenly into the size of the whole group. In this case, our subgroup has size 2 and the whole group has size 8. Since 2 divides 8 perfectly, the theorem holds true here. This also means the group can be split into 4 equal parts or cosets, and each containing the elements of the subgroup combined with other elements of the group. So this example shows how the structure of subgroups fits within the larger group perfectly.
Good day, everyone. To continue, I will discuss to you the corollary number 2 that states, if the order of a finite group G is a prime number, then it does not have any proper subgroup. So let's start with the basic idea. If a group is finite and its order is a prime number, then the only subgroup it can have are the trivial subgroup, which contains only the identity element 1 and the group itself. There are no other proper subgroups. Why? Because that is according to the theorem of Lagrange, wherein Lagrange theorem states that the order of any subgroup of a finite group G must divide the order of a subgroup H. Now let's take a concrete example. Suppose the group has 7 elements where C sub 7 has the elements 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or Z modulo 7. This means that the order of a group G is equals to 7. And we all know that 7 is a prime number. And the only numbers that divide 7 are 1 and 7. So by Lagrange theorem, the only possible subgroup orders are 1 and 7. Thus, no proper non-trivial subgroup exists in this case, right? So therefore, we conclude that if a group has a prime order, then it is cyclic and has no proper subgroup except the trivial one. So that could be all. Thank you for listening. Thank you for listening.